tale of the Elfin Knight. A long time ago, back in the 1400s, there lived a knight, and his name was Henry St. Clair. Henry, the young knight, was also a lord. He was the Earl of Roslin. His father had died in battle, and he inherited the castle and the lands belonging to the Earldom of Roslin. And the castle was a beautiful thing of red sandstone that sat high on a cliff which plunged down into a gorge in which ran the bubbling waters of the River Esk. Now, life was pretty quiet out at Roslin in those days. It was a wild place. There was a village near the castle and a church made of wooden beams and a thatched roof. And the woods around the castle were full of beautiful, fragrant plants and flowers. But the other side of the river was a wilderness. Nobody ever went there, because it was said that anyone who dared cross the river to that wasteland on the other side would fall prisoner to an evil being known as the Elfin Knight. Well, it came one day when Henry St. Clair had a visitor at Roslin Castle. It was his best friend, Sir Godfrey. Their fathers had fought in battle together. They'd known each other since they were boys. Oh, and it was such a joy for Henry to be visited by his best friend. And his best friend was a bit wild. And his best friend, Sir Godfrey, said, "Oh, come on, Henry. Come on, Henry. There must be something dangerous to do around here. It's getting boring just feasting and chasing the servant girls around and throwing rocks off the castle tower into the river. Is there anything dangerous that a knight could do, an adventure we could have?" "Well," said Henry, "funny you should say that, Sir Godfrey. You see that forest and the wild wasteland of moors beyond it?" "Yes," said Sir Godfrey. "What about it?" "Well," said Sir Henry, "they say that land is uninhabited because people who used to go over there would disappear, and legend had it that they were taken by the evil Elfin Knight." "Wow," said Sir Godfrey, "that's amazing. That sounds really dangerous. Henry, what an adventure it would be if we would go over into that wasteland. We could find the Elfin Knight and catch him and kill him and cut off his head. And we would become heroes. We would become the stuff of stories told hundreds of years in the future. Henry, come on, let's do it." "Well," said Sir Henry, somewhat hesitantly, "Sir Godfrey, you're a very adventurous lad, but it is the case that even since my father and grandfather's father's time that no one who's gone over into that wasteland across the river has ever come back alive." "Well," said Sir Godfrey, "come on, Henry. You're not scared, are you, Henry?" "No, I'm not scared," said Henry. "Saddle the horses, fill the quivers with bows and arrows. We are going out to hunt the Elfin Knight." Well, all was prepared. The horses were saddled, the bows and arrows were assembled, spears were there, and so were some swords and daggers, just in case there was trouble from the Elfin Knight. as they were riding across the drawbridge, a voice came from high in the castle tower. Henry! Henry, where are you going? What? For goodness sake, Mother, I'm a bit old for you to be asking me where I'm going. Henry? Yes, Mother. Are you going hunting? Well, obviously, Mother, yes, we have bows and arrows in my quiver as we're going hunting. Where are you going hunting? Well, if you must know, Mother, we're going to the other side of the river. Henry, you can't go down there. You know that wasteland is uninhabited because of the evil elfin knight that's said to steal the very souls of any unfortunate being who may wander there. Mother, really, I am a full-grown, fully trained, ordained knight, and so is my dear friend Sir Godfrey. We fear no elfin knight or any goblins or silly monsters or anything. Henry? Yes, Mother. I'm going to give you something that will help. Oh, God, what's this? Thought Henry it was all a bit embarrassing, but Henry's mother, Lady St. Clair, came down the stairs, and in her hand she carried 2 scarves of golden silk. And in one of the scarves she wrapped some herbs, some plants, and tied it all up around her son Sir Henry's arm and said some strange magical words that he didn't understand. There you go, Henry, all protected with this magic charm against the evil elfin knight. Now, Sir Godfrey, it's your turn. Lady St. Clair, if you please. I am a knight. I have my bow and arrow, my sword, and my dagger. I have no need of women's magic charms and hocus pocus. Well, don't say I didn't warn you, Sir Godfrey. Right, let's go, said Sir Henry. Henry? Yes, Mother. I've got these venison and red currant sandwiches I made for your lunch. Oh, God, Mother, you're so darned embarrassing. Henry took the sandwiches, and off they went. The 2 knights into the forest, and they came to the rushing river Esk. Not a very deep river, but wild and full of rapids. I know a ford across the river, said Sir Henry. And they crossed the rapids onto the other side, and the horses picked their way up the river bank, through the forest, up the steep slopes, muddy and perilous, on the far side of Roslin Glen. And the forest flattened out. Oh, it's wild, said Sir Henry. No paths, no ways to go. It's been inhabited by humans now, well, not for hundreds and hundreds of years. I love it, said Godfrey. It's so wild. Never in all the land have I seen such a wild forest. Must be lots of wild animals to hunt. Maybe you could hunt an animal or two, and maybe the elfin knight might come later. Look, there's a clearing, said Sir Henry. Let's go for that and get some sunlight and have a look around. So they went to the forest clearing, and they stopped in the little rays of sunshine that shone through the big old oak trees. And they stood still on their horses. Not a branch moved, not a blade of grass moved. There was no breeze. Well, that's a bit strange, said Sir Henry. What? Said Sir Godfrey. Well, listen, said Sir Henry. Well, I can't hear anything, said Sir Godfrey. Exactly, said Sir Henry. It's totally silent. There should be birds singing, or little mice snuffling around in the bushes, or wind or something, but there's nothing. This silence is very strange, said Sir Henry. Yes, it's unnatural, said Sir Godfrey. Wait, said Henry, listen. What's that? Said Godfrey. I think it's the hooves of horses. Oh my goodness! Someone's galloping towards us on a horse, said Sir Godfrey. And it got loud. Oh, look, said Sir Godfrey. Look, coming crashing out of the bushes. Look at him on that big white horse with his great big tall long lance, with his green flag and his shiny silver armour, and his green cloak and his beautiful jewels. Oh, it's the Elfin Knight, it's beautiful. I must follow that knight, said Sir Godfrey. I must follow the knight, I must learn his name, his order and his degree, for I will follow such a bold hero to the ends of the earth. No, you idiot, said Sir Henry. You fool, you've been tricked. You've been tricked. That's the Elfin Knight, and he's wearing a crown. He's really an evil king, and that thing he's riding is no horse. It's covered in scales with big claws, and it's got wings, and it's hovering along above the ground. You fool! You should have taken my mother's magic charm on your arm like I did, Sir Godfrey. No! But it was too late. Sir Godfrey had charged off after the Elfin Knight, and was following the Elfin Knight. Oh, following him as fast as he could go. The Elfin Knight went really fast, and Godfrey was having to put his horse at full gallop and jump over tree roots and duck under tree branches. It was very dangerous. But never did the horse under Sir Godfrey stumble, never did Sir Godfrey fall, and he rode hard, chasing the Elfin Knight all through the forest, and finally the trees spread out, and there was wide grass and clumps of heather, a wasteland of a mountain moor, and the Elfin Knight galloped on ahead up the hill, and Sir Godfrey followed him all the way to the hilltop and down, 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 on the other side into a valley where it was getting dark and cold, and Sir Godfrey could see the valley floor was covered in white, the white of snow. And Sir Godfrey followed the Elfin Knight, still riding as hard as he could, and saw that the Elfin Knight had reached a circle in the middle of the white snow, a circle of long, lush green grass in the middle of the snow, as if there was a circle of summer in the middle of winter. Well, this was unnatural, and Sir Godfrey should have been worried, but he was intoxicated with the excitement of following the Elfin Knight, and when Sir Godfrey himself reached that circle of green grass, he could see in the middle of the circle the Elfin Knight, crowned as a king with a golden crown and a big long cloak, sitting on a throne of dark wood. And at each of the king's shoulders was a big black raven, a mighty, menacing-looking bird. In front of the king was a table of polished marble granite, and on it was a cup of gold studded with jewels. Oh, and when Sir Godfrey reached the edge of the circle, he jumped off his horse. But between him and the king was a very strange sight. There was a circle of goblins, of little green-clothed men with bulgy eyes and pointy noses and ears, dancing around and around and around the king to strange music. And the music, where was the music coming from? There were no musicians. The music appeared to be coming from thin air. This was most unnatural, but Sir Godfrey didn't care. He was in love with the Elfin Knight, now a king. And to his delight, the king looked up, acknowledged Sir Godfrey, and asked him, by beckoning his hand, for Sir Godfrey to come and approach the king at his royal table, where he sat on his throne. Well, Godfrey stepped into the circle of grass. Out of the snow, he put one foot in the circle of grass, and a little goblin jumped out and said, "No! No, Sir Godfrey, please, do not enter the circle. This is a terrible enchantment. He's not a nice knight. This is the Elfin Knight, the evil king. And I am one of those whom he captured. I once had a life, a home and a family, and now I've been turned into this hideous goblin form to serve him 7 long years, and after that I don't know what will happen to me. And all the others here are the same. Please, Sir Godfrey, go away from this place. Don't fall under the spell of the evil elfin knight. Oh, how ridiculous! Go away, you silly little man! And Sir Godfrey slapped the little goblin out the way. And he began to approach the king. Oh yes, and he reached the king's table. And the king looked up and said, "Well, Sir Godfrey,